Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, my beautiful empresses. Welcome to Embody Your Empress. My name is Sarah King, the founder of Empress Nation and the host of this amazing podcast. Today, we have a guest who is an expert at guiding people through empathetic, sensitive souls, which I know everyone listening is drawn and magnetized and through being an empath and very sensitive. Souls that are on a journey that are going through deep energy mastery and need someone in their corner, someone who knows about deep energy, someone who knows trauma alchemy and embodiment practices. Alexandrea Auora, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to meet you.
Wonderful, thank you. And so, Alex, deep, deep work that you're doing, and all of the listeners here, they are so involved in this journey at some point. A lot of people listening in will be very new to probably the field of work that you're working in. Some may be at some stage on the journey. Can you tell us a bit more in your own words what it is that you do and who you are helping out there in the world?
Yes, I can. So I am helping empaths and I call empaths highly sensitive with low self-esteem and a huge spiritual connection. And after studying what it means to be an empath for now 11 years, I, in my conscious mind, empath actually means master. So you came here as a master and then you were told that you didn't fit in. You tried to fit in and make yourself different, but actually, sensitivity is mastery. It means you are able to actually experience what's going on inside you, around you, in other people. That's mastery. And it's a lot of people think that empathy comes from trauma. And I really started into this because I was like, did I become an empath because of trauma? Or was I an empath who experienced trauma? Right. So what the new studies show is that those of us who we're all born basically as an empath. We are all born open, connected. What happens is in those traumas, we are awakened to our true selves, to our path. We get something bad to solve. So who am I helping? I'm helping people that have some sort of trauma that has awakened them to a spiritual path, or I want to say a path of wanting to change something in this society. So it can be that you had a deep trauma or a small trauma, but it was enough for your sensitivity to wake up and you started to understand what is intuition. Do I want to go this way or this way? What is right for me? And maybe you started to have some symptoms that just made you not fit into the normal way of living in society. So you created your own path or you chose a path where you can help others. And yeah, all my clients I've worked both with women and men, but they are highly sensitive. So that's what we all have in common. And we do have, I do have, I think all my clients that have some sort of childhood neglect to a certain degree where they were neglected in their emotional needs. And then also they had some sort of trauma. It doesn't have to be it's always the rape trauma that people think about but it can be anything from like mental abuse, emotional abuse. And that is actually huge imprints on our nervous system. And we know today that emotional abuse is just as severe for the nervous system as physical abuse. So I would say that the people I work with mainly have emotional abuse, neglect, and then they've used it or they are about to use it for something greater. Like they want to do that. And then when you're an empath and you want to do big things, challenges come because you are sensitive. So you start to be like, yeah, I want to teach that yoga class or I want to do that lecture. But then after you are drained for a week, you can't move and you're like, I feel all the pain of so you need to learn something about protecting your energy and you need to learn how to charge your energy. You need to become what I call an energy master. You need to learn how to master your own energy and to realize a lot of those thoughts and fears you have is actually just your higher self trying to be like, wake up, do it, become a master now, because then you can't do it. But as an empath, you can't really just, I don't know how to explain. You can't just take on the big job and work a lot of hours and you will totally destroy yourself. And it doesn't matter what human design you have, what is your star sign, doesn't matter if you like, because you are sensitive to, that's what you gotta look at. Yeah. And I look from different perspectives. I work with embodiment. I like that you chose that wording for it. But yeah, I work with Chinese kind of yoga that I found very helpful for empath, which is called Qigong. It's like standing slow movements that they train the nervous system and the energy magnetic field so it becomes stronger. So you don't take on the world. You literally have a protective magnetic field around you at all times, which is very helpful for empath.
So I guess if someone doesn't quite realize they're an empath, they're just letting all the world's energy flow in them, around them, and get stuck on them. When you sort of have that spiritual awakening and you start digging a little deeper into what else is out there apart from just the 3D world,
Yeah.
then that would be something that would really helpful to begin with. When I had my spiritual awakening, I was a flight attendant working on airplanes. So I could deal with 400 plus people a day and being very highly sensitive. I was taking it all on. I took everything so personally. I was drained. I was hyper emotional. And I was just like, what am I doing? And then when I started looking into spiritual awakening and what was happening and who I was just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, 95% of these things I'm feeling aren't even mine. They're just coming through me from these other people around me who don't know. And that it's not like it was a negative or an evil thing that they were like, oh, projecting onto me. It was just, I didn't know. They were just like putting it out there to the world. And I was like the sponge and soaking it all up. And I'm going to take it all on because I'm an empath and I can. And my childhood put me instead for being that person to just absorb. So really amazing for anyone on their spiritual awakening journey to go and have a look at that.
How did you then find out that you were an empath? Like, how did you find out about it? Like, you just went online or?
I did a lot of reading. So I did a lot of books and then I was just like, oh, this sounds like me. And then I would go on YouTube and type it in and then I'd watch a few like short videos and then I got into listen to podcasts and I'm like, there's so many, there's so many of me out there and I didn't know I felt like I was the only one. Which is why I love to talk about these things and I love to add to the collection of tools out there for people when they start on that journey. When, like, for a new person, and we're talking about energy protection, apart from Qigong, do you have any other top tips that you would recommend?
Yeah, before I would even leave my house, I have this thing that I do and that I've been doing now for a lot of years so I work with something called the Akashic Records, which is, I don't know if your listeners know what it is, or I should explain.
Do you wanna give a short explanation just in case someone
Yeah.
does?
So the Akashic Records is the archives of your soul. So in that place, you can download things from past lives that your soul already know. You can get upgrades, you can heal, you can talk to your spirit team. And I worked with that also for 11 years. So the guide that I found when I was in your place was Matt Kahn. I read all his books and I went on all his trainings, and that's how I figured it all out. I definitely couldn't do it alone. But then after some years, he was like, now you're ready to spread your wings and go out. And then I invented this thing that I just started spontaneously to do that I learned from my team. And it's actually quite simple. The David star or the Merkaba, it's like a star. And you imagine this star like a golden star in your hat, and then you expand it slowly, and you just feel as it expands, you clear out anything that's not yours. And then you let it expand all the way through your entire aura. And then as you feel that everything that's not yours is out and you feel totally aligned, you can like say that you're letting go of anything that's not yours, even like ancestrally or other people or whatever, just anything. And you're just like asking for your own alignment. And then I imagine my angels around each corner of this star. And then I just say, thank you for protecting me throughout this day. Thank you for letting the light work through me and sending love to everyone that I meet on my way. And then I go. And I do that basically like before I go in a supermarket, before I go into public transportation, before I go anywhere. I will just then, this is the morning, right? And then throughout the day, I just think about it's activated and I really feel a difference if I don't do it. It's like I will just sponge in things like with the magnetic field, it's more of a physical protection. In the past, I would be sick a lot of the time. Like I would get like influenza and doing the Qigong protects me from that. So it doesn't go into the physical body, but for the energy body, I do the star. And then this protection I've taught to most of my clients, especially the ones that are like into that. So you gotta be open to that. But most of my clients are, and they're like, they love it. And they like before a difficult conversation with their boss or before a difficult conversation with the husband, or they will do this and then they will not take on the emotions of the other people. It's very helpful. And it also helps to just clean everything out. And I call it the Akash because for me it's like activating the connection with the Akashic Records. But technically this is called the fire wagon or the Merkaba practice. And it's a very ancient practice back like to the Essenes, the people that were the seers that predicted the Messiah. So they would use this practice before they will do any channeling, for example.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's like spiritual hygiene, right? It's like taking a shower
Yeah.
in the morning and taking a shower in the evening,
Oh
clearing it out.
yeah, you got to do that. And I also do something else. Like at the moment I have lots of clients, right? And I work online, but they also come here for healings and sessions. And so after that kind of day, I do like a salt bath. And that's also sometimes if you're tired and you don't want to imagine all kind of things, just so simple, like just going in a salt bath, putting some lavender in there, some lemongrass, and then just letting the salt soak out all those things is also awesome.
Beautiful, beautiful. And that works on like the physical, the metaphysical, all
It does
round.
all of it.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. It's so easy. Beautiful. Alex, you work with a lot of sensitive souls, and as sensitive souls, we can usually get hung up on money issues and money challenges because it gets tied in a lot with the negative emotions or how people respond. Do you have any tips or thoughts on how, as an empath, we can really embrace money and have it light up our lives?
I love this question. And for a long time, I want to say I had how to say in English. It like I was afraid to talk about it.
Mhm.
I felt, oh, can I talk about that when they pay me money to get sessions? And yet that whole block is totally gone from my life after I read a specific book. And I really think we should put a link for this book in the podcast. So I went on so many courses about money. I just want to say it was like, so for me, like I had PTSD. So I had really, that blocks money. I didn't know about like money and trauma, how connected it is, but I had a severe period of 4 years with PTSD due to something that happened to me. And in that period, I was like, how is this connected? So I really went deep. And I went to proctor courses and learning about the law of attraction. And I really studied about money. I went on so many courses about money and trauma. Nothing worked. I just want to be really honest. It's how I am. But then I found a book, like mystically, I found this book. And it doesn't look like a spiritual book. It's called The Having. And it's written by a Korean guru. And when she was 21 years old, she left university and she became a money guru. And she has a very holistic approach to money. And she has interviewed millionaires, like the people that made Star Wars and big, like the owners of Samsung. And like she's had conversations with all kinds of people. And from all the conversations and everything, she invented this theory, which is a change of perspective, and it's called heavy. And it seems so simple that we don't understand it. Like, can it be that simple? But it's a shift of perception. So we are always focusing on what I have to do to get that, or I can imagine that I already have it. But having is having it now, meaning appreciating fully the present moment and everything you have. So the practice is, wow, I have this glass of water. Oh, how does it feel when I drink the water? Can I enjoy actually just drinking water? And then you really slow down, and that's having. So you don't focus on what I have to do to do it. Focus on, oh, I have this dress. I feel so comfortable in this dress. And then there are different practices to increase that feeling. And every time I do it, everything just happens in a natural flow. So you attract, she calls it water. Money is just water. So you attract the water because you feel fulfilled. And then the more fulfilled you feel, the more water you attract. And then that creates new ideas that is in alignment with who you are, not trying to push anything or anyone. And then you start to create the new pathways of your subconscious, which is the opposite of the fight and flight that you were in your childhood and that your parents were in. And she explains how it's not your fault and how to get out of it. And she also explains how to heal anxiety and anxiety around money by practicing having. So this has become a little side wagon to everything I do because I realized, like you say, all the empaths I was working with, they had this problem. And I was like, I can't ignore this big problem. And then I really went deep into it. And it's the core of stress and anxiety and depression. It comes from that. It comes from lack. And I was like, okay. So now I have this little group of women. It's a free group. And we practice the having. And we study together, we practice together, we discuss together. And I've seen magic in this group, like money coming in all kinds of ways, projects coming. And we dialogue because the highest level of having is creating having together. It's actually not, you pay me and I do this. It's, you can do this. I trust you. Let's support each other. Can we back each other up on all the things that we're doing? And that would amplify our mind having by me supporting you. Though it's a more Asian way of thinking about money. And that is a match for me. And technically, the Asian path has been the more match for me than any other. I don't know why. I definitely have been Chinese in the past life or something like this because every time it's something about like Asia, just clicks for me. Oh, that makes so
I
yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That, like you say, it's so simple. But what you're describing, I was just like, that was me like a couple of hours ago. I'm like, I need to do all these things. And I'm like putting myself on to-do lists and all these little boxes. And then that is just the most beautiful reminder to come back to allowing the flow to come back and allowing the flow to get rid of the doing. I love that. That actually just warmed my heart from the inside out. Like, absolutely.
That's having. And that I'm getting goosebumps because that's having. And especially for women and empath, we need that flow so we don't overwhelm ourselves. For sure, you will do actions. It's
Mm.
not that. But for example, one of my actions in my morning routine is practicing having, which is enjoying my coffee, doing nothing.
Yeah.
It's equally important as the to-do list or remembering the da-da-da. So
Yeah. Yeah.
always in those moments I get new clients. It's always when you're like, oh, let's go again. a pedicure, and then people are like, I want to get buy this, I want to get that. I was like, and there's like, well, then I can find here in 1 hour. Because you're open to receive.
Beautiful, beautiful. What a great reminder for everyone. Be open to receive and it will flow in.
Mm.
Oh my gosh. You work a lot with leaders as well. And I know 2026 is going to be a massive year for everyone. Like people are already talking about how fast it will move, especially when 2025 has already felt like it's picked up pace. So we have a lot of leaders, we have a lot of high achieving women listening. How can they walk forward in that leadership role while probably being highly sensitive and still be thriving?
Yeah. There are, like I always say, win in the morning, win in the day. And that is the most important that I mentor all my clients to, especially when they're like, I have a lot of leaders who are also moms. So you don't have lots of time. So we do things like get up early, go in the car, and then inside the car, you do your meditation because you don't wake up the family, right? You do your meditation. And then, so what I work a lot on is like reprogramming, it's called, but it's actually also creating the stage inside your head before it's happened. So you're conditioning your subconscious mind to believe that you are that person, you're worthy of being that person. And we have this tendency to seek, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, and then prove it to me. So this our tendency as empath, we all have it in common. So we can just be like, "Yeah, I'm not good enough, you're not good enough, awesome." But actually, you can condition yourself to believe that you are. And so that's where leadership for me comes in. It's leading from inside. And so there is a very specific morning routine that I would recommend everyone to learn. But anything that works for you that brings you into that frequency of like empowerment and then going into the day. So whatever makes you feel that you win the morning and you are in the positive mindset, you are in your core beliefs. And the basic thing is like you want to write down what you want to believe, maybe not in 5 years, but just in 2 months forward. Who am I in 2 months forward? And how can I condition my subconscious mind to believe that I'm that person now? So that when those 2 months arrive, where I know I have to do the thing, like for example, right now I have a client, she has to be the spokesperson for big events in the mental health conferences in Copenhagen this year. And she's never done anything like this. She's a scientist. She works with like science within mental health. And now she's moving into leadership. So we are preconditioning her subconscious so that when she's standing on the stage, she's already said to her subconscious mind, I love doing speeches, and speeches for me is so easy. And when I'm on the stage, people listen to what I have to say, and I inspire them. And they also think that the projects that we're doing are the best, and we're changing the mental health, and we're moving it into 5D frequency, and da da da. So we are already conditioning her subconscious. So she will be nervous, but it will be good nervous when she goes there, and she will be ready to have all the conversations after, which is also what she's worrying about. And it's a big dream. It's been on the board this whole year. Now it's coming, right? So and she has 5 of them. So, so we're really preconditioning her. Just to give sometimes an example is easier to understand. And then another thing is that leadership comes, in my opinion, as a woman, comes from inside out. So if you are like, I have some leaders who are like not seeing the results they want, but they know it's coming. So then we do this game that we're like, okay, the director that I'm becoming or the leader I'm becoming also is good as washing socks, dirty socks. And leadership is also taking care of my house. And this woman that I'm becoming, she's also sometimes vacuuming the house. And this woman that I'm becoming, she's also sometimes taking care of kids. And that's also leadership if it's coming in from inside. So leadership doesn't always mean that now I'm doing only the thing that I want to do, but it's like, where are you doing the thing you're doing from? Where are you doing the dishes from? Oh, I am the CEO doing the dishes. That's totally different than oh, I'm not there yet. And now I also have to do the dishes. So leadership, feminine leadership is an inner game. And I think it's like next year is we need to bring ourselves into the game as empaths. Like I think otherwise we will be left behind. We'll be like, but I had something to say about this. Why didn't anyone ask me? Because
Exactly.
we have the answers. So I want to say, like, for an empath, I would say that the most important is precondition yourself. And I don't know if you know about like this. It's called like the funnel triangle. It's like a triangle. I can send a link for you, and we can put a picture. Maybe it's like a triangle, and it shows each emotion and the different frequencies that each emotion has. And we are very familiar with the lower frequencies of fear, anxiety, shame. We're very familiar with those emotions. We're not so familiar with like comfort and confidence. But there's one emotion, like one core frequency that can help us in becoming the leaders we want to be, and that is courage. Courage is the frequency that brings you from 3D to 5D. It literally is the one like that's in the middle of the triangle that kind of breaks the walls. So I think in the year of the fire horse, which is next year, it's time to get courageous. And as empaths, sometimes we don't like it. We're like, ooh, because it reminds us of anxiety, but it's courage. So I want to say whatever makes you feel courageous and that can put the seeds for that in the morning. That will be very helpful because then you will make the right decision each day. And really, leadership is each day. It's not, yeah, it's not the big events. It's a daily thing.
It's a daily thing. Yeah. Courage has been the word that keeps coming up. And what I say to people is it's always hardest the first time. Like the first time you do anything, you will be anxious, nervous. Even if you've done the vision, the first time is always the hardest because after that first one, you're like, you've done your vision, plus you've had the embodied experience. So much easier. So you just got to get the courage for that first time and then you can smash it. You can blow them away. I love when you said, as empaths, we say, why didn't anyone ask me? I'm left behind here. And if you don't have courage, you will be in that position going, why didn't anyone ask me? I know I can share this. And when you learn to back yourself and open your mouth and share your expertise and lead with heart and put yourself forward, then the why didn't you ask me turns into yes, you asked me because you become the person that they see, they notice, and they turn around and ask. And that can be all the difference by putting yourself out there and backing yourself with that courage. So that's such a beautiful point. We want our sensitive souls to be out there. I want them to be leading us. I want them in business. I want women in business. I want them in governments because we're so good at understanding multiple perspectives. And the more of that we can have, this whole world will shift in such a beautiful way. And that needs to be said over and over until it starts to happen. No more waiting to be asked. Please stand up and do it.
Yeah, and I do think like something that I'm going to start next year is so I've had like mentor containers and I have teacher trainings, but what I'm going to do next year is going to be profoundly different. And I see it everywhere. It's, instead of having these different containers, I just want to have something more like a movement, like a place where it's like a group and everyone can be like, hey, I need to have some courage. Can someone support me? Like a place where you can actually be an empath and you can be like, anyone else having this now? Because what I've seen this year is I will have, and it's so like in the synchronicity, like in one day, 5, 8, 7 people will tell me like, oh, I have a headache. Oh, I have this pain. And it's always the same. I'm like, what if we were all together and we were all like, okay, someone in Australia, someone in Denmark, someone in Africa, someone in And we are like, okay, I'm also having the symptom and you're also having, okay, so what if we're courageous enough to talk about this, to talk about this spirituality? I think
Yeah.
I found really this new moon yesterday and today, like time. It's like time for us to open and talk. And I think sometimes we need group support and then have to maybe start there and then go out and start to speak. And I really, because I see so many of my clients, like even if I encourage them and they will not do it. They'll be like, yeah, well, oh, this say yes to Alex, but then I'll. So I think if I had like a group, a huge group where everyone could just really share. So that's my big dream for next year.
I love that. I can't wait to see that happen. The mission, the movement, it's happening. Fantastic. All right, Alex, some questions to finish off our beautiful conversation. How do you embody your empress?
Oh, I like it. One second. So I have a thing I do. It's a self massage actually that I do. I do it when I'm in the shower. It's very simple. It's like massaging my womb up around my chest. And then I do it a couple of times and I like feel clear. Then I put my hands on my heart and my Hara chakra and I imagine roses growing. And then I connect with the mother. I call it Sophia, but yeah, the mother. Feel my feminine side. And I try to do it daily, but anyway, anytime I shower, I will do it. And also, I feel when I practice heaven, that's also my way of awakening her. But it's become more and more important. Before, I would do more than masculine, like doing the Qigong, doing my running, doing my. This is equally important now for me. And it's really changed me. Like in the past, I would not look like this at all. I was bald. I was wearing like sweats and mostly like monk's clothes. I would never look like this. And after I start to feel her and embody her, I look different. I feel different. I feel feminine. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. I was just going to say, how does your empress energy feel for you?
Yeah, it's a feeling of fulfillment and having, but also, yeah, femininity. It's a hard thing, but I really do feel it's both very honest, like radical, and very calm at the same time, and so much love. Oh
Same.
gosh, so much love. I remember when it started, I was like, is this possible? Yeah. Is there so much love? Can we live in alignment with sometimes even today, it still overwhelms me. So much love inside. Wow.
Give me the chills.
Yes.
That's, oh, it's radiating. Beautiful. And what are your parting words of wisdom for your nation?
For my nation, like you mean for Denmark?
Oh, no, for our collective.
Oh, but perfect. So like,
Specifically for Denmark. For everyone, for our nation
I
listening
want
in.
to say trust the power of transformation, trusting in the power of transformation that helps me through everything.
Yeah, it does. Transformation is possible and it's yours. So go be courageous and get it. I love it.
Yes.
I love it so much. Thank you so much, Alex. This has been like the best chat. I've had so many full body chills just with even going off now with what is happening. We're going to be posting all your links for people to connect in the show description, as well as the Having book, because I think everyone needs to read that now.
Oh, yes. Good.
It's so good. I just want to encourage every person listening, go be that leader that the world needs. Go be courageous. Feel into yourself and just know that being a sensitive soul and being an empath, it's not a hindrance. It's not a disadvantage. It is your power. And when you harness it and you surround yourselves with other people who can hold you accountable and push you forward in the right direction, like you will change it as well. So thank you so much for listening, everyone. Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.